Yeah, okay. So as mentioned, my presentation is going to be on using linked data interlinking to access born digital archives. So I'm just going to start with a slightly more technical formal definition of the semantic web and linked data, but for anyone who is unfamiliar with these topics, just bear with me and I'll try to explain them slightly better in the following slides. So what is the semantic web? The semantic web is an extension of the current web, where data, and not just documents, are given well-defined meaning, and where the relationships between data are defined in a common machine-readable format. And so then what is linked data? Linked data is then a set of principles and best practices for publishing, interlinking, and engaging with this data on the semantic web. And some of these principles include using HTTP URIs, or Uniform Resource Identifiers, as names for entities. These entities could be persons, places, work, concepts, objects, or other things. And also to structure the data in RDF format, so the Resource Description Framework. Basically, that's a triple format where these pieces of data take a triple format of subject, predicate, and object. And here the predicate is the relationship or the interlink. So that's the focus of my work. So to help you visualize, to help people who aren't familiar with the semantic web visualize what this might mean, the current web, as I mentioned, have links between documents, as you can see here. So the unit is documents. Whereas in the semantic web, the unit that we're talking about is data, and there are meaningful interlinks between these data. So for example, this is the subject. It's an example using Pride and Prejudice as the subject. This is the predicate, has publication date, and this is the object, which is the year. So this is what the semantic web would look like. In terms of what is linked data interlinking, so that is the process of determining whether a named resource, like a person, place, or thing, can be linked to another named resource to indicate that they both describe the same thing or that they are related in some capacity. So again, for example, Pride and Prejudice in the British Library, being linked to, for example, a WorldCat record of the Cambridge Companion to Pride and Prejudice. So using a same as link there, or a see also link. There's also a few other examples of some interlinks there. So the same as link pointing to the same object in the Trinity Library, or has relation pointing to the film of Pride and Prejudice in VIAF. So just you can create a whole number of different interlinks that have different uses that can point the users of your data to different kinds of resources that might be of interest to them that are held in different institutions. And the benefit of this being that it improves knowledge discovery. So you can aid your data users in discovering related information correlating to their data search. So in the context of digital archives, you could be pointing to digital archives that hold information that are of interest to them, or if you're working in the digital archive, pointing to other data sets within the archive, or again, pointing out to other data sets that might be of interest to your users. It creates richer and more meaningful links between the entities, so you can express different degrees of relatedness, as I mentioned before, so you pointing to things that are the same, similar to, related to, see also being something that might be of interest to a user. It allows you to provide seamless navigation between data sets and institutions. So again, helping users to access those archives, access those entities and resources that are available in different archives. And at the end of the day, increasing awareness of what's available out there, not just within one archive, but in other institutions. So my work has been looking at linked data interlinking, and as part of my PhD, I developed an interlinking framework specifically for information professionals in libraries, archives, and museums. It's a 4-stage cyclical framework involving selecting the entities that you would like to interlink, then aiding the user in selecting that predicate or that relationship between the entities that's most meaningful and most useful for their users, providing the provenance data that describes the interlinking process itself, and then finally publishing your interlinked data in RDF, and also creating a visualization to help you and the users understand the data better. So if you'd like any more information on anything that I've spoken about, you can find it at my demo at the SCSS website, or I'm happy to take any questions via email, and of course at the end of this session.
Brilliant.